Hello and welcome to the news. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present the headlines. President Edgar Lungu has challenged the Law Association of Zambia to form a political party. The Judicial Complaints Commission has been urged to release the findings of the investigation into the alleged misconduct of Constitutional Court judges. And now the news in detail. President Edgar Lungu has challenged the Law Association of Zambia to form a political party. Law Association of Zambia President Linda Kasonde yesterday during a media briefing questioned the declaration of a state of threatened public emergency before investigations into the cause of the city market fire could be established. Speaking to journalists at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport before departure for Swaziland for a two-day state visit, President Lungu noted that with concern, the politicking taking place at the Law Association of Zambia. President Lungu says it is unacceptable for lawyers to abuse the noble profession body by politicking. The head of state says that it is high time lawyers with political ambition form their own political parties and face him head-on. And President Lungu has wondered why lawyers are failing to interpret the law in a manner that will be easy for the majority Zambians to understand.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Your Excellency.
Yeah, where are the lawyers? Where are the lawyers in this country?
They are there, but how do you feel the interpretation by the lawyers?
If the lawyers want to form a political party, let them go ahead and form a political party. Let them not abuse the profession. It's a noble one. Yeah, because what they're saying is politics. You can see it's politics. For me, I challenge them to form their own political party, but let them not abuse the profession. Okay, thank you. If they want to take me on that one, they can take me on. But the truth is that there's too much politics in the Law Association of Zambia. If they want to form a political party, let them go ahead and form one with them. But to abuse the noble profession, like the law profession where I belong, it's unacceptable. Where are the lawyers in this country? Bye-bye.
But the Law Association of Zambia has declined to comment on claims by President Lungu that there is too much politicking in the association. Last President Linda Kasonde declined to comment on the matter when contacted. Meanwhile, Ms. Kasonde has welcomed the willingness to dialogue by President Edgar Lungu and incarcerated UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema. She says this is an indication that the issues between the main political parties can be resolved, adding that dialogue is the only way through which differences can be resolved.
It's gratifying that following the meeting with the bishops, the Republican president has stated that he's open to dialogue with the opposition UPND, and we are gratified as well that on the other side the UPND appear also to be willing to engage. So that is the start of a positive sign that the issues between the two main parties can be resolved. Because dialogue is really the only way through which difficulties and differences can properly be resolved. So it seems to be that both parties are saying the same thing, that they would like to dialogue, and that is the best way forward for everybody. It's gratifying.
Chikondi Foundation President Bishop John Mambo has praised President Edgar Lungu for allowing Catholic bishops to visit UPND President Hakainde Hichilema in prison with a view to initiate dialogue. Bishop Mambo has called on all well-meaning Zambians to support the efforts being made to unite the country, stating that this will help promote peace and tranquility in the country. He says it is important that the Catholic bishops ensure that there are no conditions attached to dialogue once they meet the incarcerated opposition leader. Bishop Mambo has since urged the Catholic bishops to meet Mr. Hichilema as soon as possible so that all political parties can meet and dialogue to resolve perceived differences among them.
The born again, we are busy bashing each other. Souls are being destroyed. The alcohol intake in this country, immorality and corruption. We must be a part. You see those who are in power sharing land in our eyes. These are members of our church, leaving the poor in the cold, and we are never bothered about because I just wanted a name and all that. I'd rather have Jesus as my friend and God as my Savior and King and have nobody else. Because even my wife, I tell her that when it comes to speaking for the voiceless, it is the job of an ambassador called by God. Not, the other way around. So the effort that has been made, we must all support. I know that people now say, why the Catholics, why this? No, no, no. It's very, very important that they go and see HH, come back to the president and say, there should be no conditions after that. Round table conferences. And when they meet, it shouldn't just be UPND and PF, no. Let all, they should take this moment, that all an opportunity, that all the political parties that are registered in this country, the Mulongoti, the Nevas Mumba, the Musoni, and all that, come together under a round table. And those of us who be praying for them be around the table. That what they agree, it shouldn't like what they did in the Cathedral of the Holy Cross. It differs with what happened in 1991. KK was genuine in, agreeing with MMD at that time. This is the position, this is the route we are taking. But these ones came from Cathedral of the Holy Cross and they insulted God, because the next day we started hearing people calling each other name and insult.
Meanwhile, political analyst Alex Ngoma has appealed to Catholic bishops to ask incarcerated UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema to share with the nation the basis on which he has disputed the outcome of the 2016 presidential election when they visit him to share the idea of dialogue with President Edgar Lungu. Dr. Ngoma says this is extremely important in establishing the legitimacy of the electoral grievance that the UPND has been harboring since August 2016. He says the nation is aware of the fact that the Catholic Church in Zambia was part of a consortium of churches and civil society, including regional and international bodies, that endorsed the victory of President Lungu. Dr. Ngoma, however, says this fact should not hinder the Catholic bishops from urging Mr. Hichilema to justify his refusal to accept the 2016 presidential election results, stating that Zambians deserve to know the truth in this matter. He has further stated that the conditions for dialogue must be realistic to avoid jeopardizing the process. Governance activist Leslie Chikuse says the professionalism of the Zambia Police Service has been put to the test following the invocation of Article 31. Mr. Chikuse says there is need for the police to professionally execute their duties in accordance with the expectations of Zambians. He notes that while Inspector General of Police Kakoma Kanganja has assured the general public of protection, there is need for the police to see to it that all citizens are protected regardless of their political affiliations. He adds that police will have no reason to fail to end arson cases now that they have been given more powers. Mr. Chikose has called on the Zambia Police to work hand in hand with the community so that all those who are behind the arson cases are brought to book.
And that there will be no genuine reason that the police will give if these arsonic attacks continue. So, of course, we are very, very confident of our police. We know that they are going to do a good job, but they must understand that it is a very big challenge, especially for the IG, the commanders. The Article 31 is a serious challenge to the police because it's a test of their professionalism. It's a test of their competence. So we are very confident that they are going to bring the people in book. We wish them all the best. They are our people, the men in uniforms. They are the people that protect us. And so we are very confident that they are going to do a good job. But if they fail, they must not expect anything less than having serious criticism from the citizens. But also very importantly, we are happy that life will have to be normal. People can still continue having normal lives, normal business, as was clarified by Mr. Kanganja, the IG, and that it's not a state of emergency. So I think that this is good because it is like an issue of security. So if
Electoral expert McDonald Chipenzi has urged the Judicial Complaints Commission (JCC) to release the findings of the investigations into the alleged misconduct and incompetence of Constitutional Court judges brought by various concerned citizens. Mr. Chipenzi has wondered what has caused the delay to release the findings when the process of hearing petitioners their witnesses and the judges' submissions concluded more than 6 months ago. He says continued keeping of petitioners in perpetual suspense on this matter is likely to raise additional doubts on the capacities, capability, and competencies of the Judicial Complaints Commission to investigate complaints brought by the citizens against erring judicial officers and in dispensing justice expeditiously. He adds that the release of the JCC's findings to the public will help free the concerned judges from the allegations of incompetence and gross misconduct in the handling of the 2016 presidential election petition. Mr. Chipenzi further states that the release of the findings will further enable the judges to perform their judicial duties with pride, credibility, and confidence, as they will be freed from perceptions that they mishandled the 2016 presidential election petition.
When we say under Article 18 of our Constitution, justice should not be delayed, I don't think that is only justice that is in court, but even justice in issues like what the JCC is doing. How many citizens right now are affected by the decision by the Judicial Complaint Authority or Commission not to release the findings? How many? So many. The petitioners, they are affected. The judges are affected. The stakeholders like myself are affected. So it is imperative that the JCC quickly releases its findings to the citizens, unless they are telling us that they are not accountable to us as citizens. But if they follow the Constitution, judges are supposed to be accountable to us as citizens. And now we have an issue with them. The Judicial Complaint Commission must quickly give us the result of its findings, whether it will go against us, or it will go against the judges. The fact remains that they have a duty to give us the results of their findings. When we
Agriculture Minister Dora Silia says government has undertaken an integrated approach to increase agricultural production in the country. Speaking when she received feasibility study results of the new Kalungwishi farming block of Lunte district in Northern Province from China Railway Service Group Limited today, Ms. Silia says the new farm block will foster government's integrated approach in increasing livestock and agriculture production. Ms. Silia says for this to be achieved, government will provide an enabling environment for people within the farm block. She notes the need to provide irrigation systems and good road networks for easy transportation of agricultural yields and equipment.
Agriculture needs a lot of enablers. It's just not about land, it's just not about water, it's just not about financing, it's just not about energy, it's about everything. And so for agriculture to take place, we need a lot of enablers. And this is why it's not surprising that you see the Minister of Finance here, you see our oversight from Parliament, the Honourable Member of Parliament. Our objective as the Ministry of Agriculture is to increase production and productivity. Just maize alone, we are talking this year 3.6 million metric tons. We should be talking about 10 million metric tons. We should not even be talking about, we are going to ban exports because there's not enough food in the country. We should be producing so much so that at any given time, we have something to sell. We should be exporting agricultural crops the whole year round. What should change is the type of crops. When it is maize, it is maize. When it is potatoes, it's potatoes. When it's vegetables, it's vegetables. Beef, chickens, goats. We should be exporting the whole year round. And that is the only way our farmers will get wealthy. These farm blocks are a big opportunity for Zambians. We have to move away from thinking of farm blocks as just a bare piece of land with bush. Farm blocks in our minds must be a town that is developed, with everything around that town being related to agriculture one way or another. Whether it is actual crop production, it's livestock production, it's agri-processing, it's packaging, everything.
And Finance Minister Felix Mutati has stated that the new farm block will be part of the 2018 national budget preparations. Mr. Mutati states that it is now government's responsibility to create investment opportunities through infrastructure development.
Investors won't come and put in infrastructure. So we have to take the responsibility to create the road network, the dams, bring in power, so that the investor only does those things that make money. For us, we shall invest, and when they make money, we shall collect taxes to recoup our initial investment. So we shall have to be the first one to go forward, and we shall recover over the period of the venture. So, Minister, we assure you from finance, this will be part of our budget preparation for 2018. So we will start turning dreams into reality.
The new farming block is expected to accommodate wildlife conservation zones, human settlement zones, forestry development and social services. Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Zaki President Michael Nyirenda has reminded government of the need to maintain policy consistency so as to help local industries thrive. Mr. Nyirenda has told Q News in an interview that policy inconsistency is detrimental to the economy and reduces the confidence and trust of both the local and foreign investors. He says policy consistency is key in attracting investment in the country, leading to positive economic growth. Mr. Nyirenda has also reminded government on the need to consult the private sector and various industry players before policies are implemented. He has since urged government to utilize the regulatory impact assessments so that regulations and policies that are implemented are predictable and consistent. Lusaka City Council LCC has appealed to sewer extraction companies to follow the laid down channels of disposing sewer waste. LCC Acting Public Relations Manager Brenda Katongola tells Q News that the local authority has the Garden and Mutumbi sewer ponds as designated places where excretory waste should be discharged. Ms. Katongola says it has been noted that companies engaged in such businesses do not follow the laid down procedures in discharging waste, thereby posing a health hazard to the public. Meanwhile, Ms. Katongola has warned members of the public near sewer ponds to stop using water from the ponds for domestic purposes. Ms. Katongola says the council has information that people have resorted to using water from the ponds for domestic purposes.
But we know that we've got a number of them, a number of companies that deal in sewer extraction within the city. Our appeal to those people who run this kind of business is that they should follow the laid down channels of disposing of that waste. We have designated spots within the city where they can take that waste, the sewer waste. We have the garden ponds, we have near Mutumbi, that area, we've got those ponds. And in the same vein, maybe while we are at the ponds, I would like to appeal, to the people who are doing gardening in those areas to ensure that they stop getting water, sewer water from the ponds, because that is unhealthy, and people who get that actually may get sick. So we are appealing to people to stop getting water from the sewer ponds to water their gardens. This is against the law, and we, once caught, we have put systems in place, and our security officers will actually be going around. But it's inhuman. People should stop using water from the sewer to water their gardens, because this is a health hazard. We don't know what that water contains. It's going to damage people's insides, and we would like to appeal to people to please just bear that in mind and stop using that water, as it is not conducive. It's not good enough, for gardening. But
Government has emphasized the need for increased investment in rural areas and economic multi-facility zones. Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Margaret Mwanakatwe says government has pumped in a lot of money and resources in improving road infrastructure in rural areas in order to encourage investment from the private sector. Ms. Mwanakatwe adds that government has also set aside 100 hectares of land in each province for agricultural production. The minister said this when the visiting delegation from Morocco, headed by that country's Foreign Affairs Minister, paid a courtesy call on her to see which areas are available for investment in Zambia, and to also follow up on bilateral meetings President Edgar Lungu and King Mohammed of Morocco had when he visited the country early this year. Zambia Cooperative Federation ZCF Director General James Chira has welcomed the reduction in the number of Food Reserve Agency depots during this year's marketing season. Mr. Chira tells Q News that the decision to reduce the number of depots is a good move as it will encourage private sector participation in the buying of maize. He notes that the presence of the FRA all over the country was overcrowding the presence of the private sector, stating that agriculture marketing should not be a prerequisite of government alone. Mr. Chira is hopeful that the FRA will set up its depots in the remotest parts of the country in view of the reduction in the number of its depots. He has also encouraged farmers to add value to their maize by making use of the solar milling plants that have been installed in their communities.
Reaction is that, in summary, we welcome that decision. We welcome that decision. And our prayer in welcoming that decision is that FRI will concentrate on remotest areas of our country in fulfillment of their mandate. You know that FRI was mandated to go where the private sector will find it difficult to go, and so the people there who have the maize remain unpurchased because people were unable to reach those areas. And so the creation of FRI was to ensure that those areas which were shunned by the private sector as a result of distance are fully covered by that government operation through FRI. And so we suppose that by reducing the depots, FRI will concentrate in those areas that I've already mentioned, that are in the remotest of our country. Now, on the other hand, I wish to say that FRI was overcrowding the private sector.
The Patriotic Front in Mandevu constituency has jumped to the defense of Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo, who is alleged to have directed PF youths to attack lawbreakers. PF Mandevu constituency chairman Joseph Tamba says the minister did not direct any youth to attack anyone during a meeting in Mandevu, but encouraged them to work with the Zambia police in bringing to book arsonists. Mr. Tamba says the PF youths are not violent as purported by some media institutions. He has advised the media to help unite the country instead of destroying it, especially during this period.
I'm very happy the Zambian people, they are very much aware which media, which want to decampaign the party which is in power. They have got hidden agenda. But let's say we want to own them. That as Patriotic Front, we are not going to sit idle to see such activities taking place in this country, because we are here to protect the Zambian people, and we are here to protect this country because we want to see our children to come and inherit where we are going to end. So we are very disappointed. Just wanted to let the Zambian people understand this. If they want to believe that that media is now just trying to always issuing negative statement against the Patriotic Front government, let them check what the minister said on Sunday. He didn't instruct the PF cadres to start arresting Zambian people. And you know the caliber of the Minister of Home Affairs. He cannot issue such statements.
The Zambia Police Service has been called upon to reconsider the recent ban on the use of motor vehicles with foreign number plates on Zambian roads. Opposition People's Alliance for Change leader Andiford Banda says the ban will negatively impact on people who deal in the sale of second-hand vehicles. Mr. Banda has since proposed that the ban on the use of vehicles with foreign number plates should only apply during the night so that the business of those who deal in such vehicles is not affected. The police have also banned the use of unregistered motor vehicles on Zambian roads with the exception of those in transit.
I would have expected, the statement from police where it banned the use of foreign number plates and unregistered vehicles. Well, I'm not sure how that is connected to what is happening in the country, if at all it's connected to ASUN. But two things here: unregistered motor vehicles. All car dealers, when they bring their cars and they want to sell them, there's no way they're going to register them. The reason is simple. Once you register your vehicle, it means that it has lost value. So the question is that how are they going to be trading? How are they going to be, moving their vehicles from wherever they park them, whether at the car park or at home, to the point of sale? Meaning that during that period they'll be harassed. So we believe that this instruction should have only applied in the night, not in the day. I think it's going to affect car dealers just as much as people at City Market are affected, and this is one of the reasons why we are saying that this state of emergency is going to affect us negatively. So the police should think about the car dealers, because car dealers cannot start registering vehicles because the police have said so. They need to sell the cars. The moment they register the vehicles will lose value. What if you register a vehicle today and you don't sell it for 3 months? What will the person who wants to buy it say? Say that no, this vehicle has been around for this long. I mean, it's the marketing strategy.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Jean Kapata has called on people engaged in timber business to adopt a culture of tree replanting whenever they cut down trees. Ms. Kapata tells Q News in an interview that in the quest to curb climate change, government is ensuring that for most valuable tree species that are cut down, new ones are replanted. She says it is devastating that some people are cutting down trees without replanting, stating that such activities have adverse impacts on the climate. Ms. Kapata has since instructed the Timber Association of Zambia to ensure that even those who have concession licenses satisfy government's requirement of replanting for any tree species that is cut down. The Professional Teachers Union of Zambia, PROTUS, has appealed to its members countrywide to remain calm as it negotiates for improved salaries and conditions of service with government. PROTUS General Secretary Kango Musenga tells Q News that the negotiations, which were initially supposed to be concluded on the 30th of June 2017, are now most likely to be concluded by the 31st of July. Mr. Musenga has since cautioned teachers to be wary of social media reports suggesting that government has increased their salaries. He says teachers' salaries have not been raised yet, but has reaffirmed the union's commitment to the improvement of teachers' conditions of service. To end QTV 10 p.m. news, we'll take a look at the headlines once more. President Edgar Lungu has challenged the Law Association of Zambia to form a political party. The Judicial Complaints Commission has been urged to release the findings of the investigations into the alleged misconduct of Constitutional Court judges. That's all we had for you. Be sure to join us for more news later on. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.